Right now, something near and dear to our heart here on Tiempo, a topic we discuss quite often, education. It is the key for Latinos and so many others, the next generation. Today, we focus on the available resources for Latinos who want to pursue higher education. Latinos are the fastest growing ethnic group of college students. That's according to the Pew Research Center. Pero affordability remains an obstacle for so many of those students. So to overcome that obstacle, New York State has an agency dedicated to helping students obtain financial aid, grants, scholarships. And that agency, the New York Higher Education Service Corporation, just released its annual report, and the results were quite positive. Joining us now, our good friend, Guillermo Linares. He is the agency's president. He's a former guest here on Tiempo. You might remember him on City Council, the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, Assembly as well. Good to have you, my friend. ¿Todo bien?
Todo bien.
Fantástico. Dígame, let me start with the report and the good news that emerged from the report. Give me some specifics that had you jumping for joy.
Well, under the governor's leadership, Governor Hochul's leadership, and with the support of the legislature, we've seen a dramatic expansion of the TAP program.
Okay, TAP, Tuition
Assistance Program.
Gracias.
Which is one of the largest need-based scholarship program or grants in the country.
When you say expansion, ¿en qué manera?
Expansion, we're expanded the program to now allow students living depending with the parents.
Yes.
From 80,000, the threshold of income, to 125,000 income.
Yes.
Which allows now for about 100,000 additional students.
Oh, my goodness.
Of which about 48,000 of them are new students coming in.
So literally this an opportunity for thousands.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And this year we're celebrating, last year we celebrated 50 years of this program.
My goodness.
Investing $30 billion to more than 6 million students.
Okay.
This is dramatic.
And I also know that you've expanded to allow support for part-time and non-degree studies. What is that? What are we talking about there?
This is another expansion which was not available previously, and under this governor now, part-time students earning 6 credits or more can now attend colleges across the state of New York, and that includes student in non-credential programs, preparing them for the workforce. This expansion, and also it's an expansion for students that are incarcerated. They will have access to in part-time basis also.
Guillermo, are you still finding that you and your staff have to go out and market this and promote it because too many Latinos don't even know it's out there, or they don't feel that they qualify for
This is another dramatic change that we've made. We have a brand new website that allows students and their families access to all the over 2 dozen programs that we have in the state of New York to have access. We also have a team that's doing outreach. We're working closely with SUNY and CUNY and the nonprofit and private institutions to make sure that parents are informed and students are informed, and high school.
Pero ¿por qué cambiaron el website? You know, why did you make those changes? All of that information that you just told me wasn't on the website before?
The website was antiquated. We just opened up a brand new state-of-the-art website that provides now access to students directly and families, but also to guidance counselors, and also to all the other partners that we have. And this is now critical because we've made our agency service-oriented to students and families to make them aware of those efforts.
More so than ever.
More so than ever.
It sounds like the website now much easier to navigate if you need to go through it.
Exactly. Or if you need to apply for federal.
And we're going to talk about that because we just did a segment a few weeks ago about FAFSA and the and getting that application in. So we'll talk about that in a second. Coming up next on Tiempo, more with the president of the New York State Higher Education Services Corporation. This is an agency that is absolutely dedicated to helping students obtain financial aid, grants, scholarships. They're out there and they're available, and you need to access them when we come back. Welcome back to Tiempo. According to the Pew Research Center, Latinos are the fastest growing ethnic group of college students. But the affordability of college remains an obstacle for so many students. New York State has an agency dedicated to helping students obtain financial aid, grants, scholarships, so they can go to college. Here with us this morning, our good friend Guillermo Linares. He's the president of the New York Higher Education Service Corporation. I want to jump into something that is critically important for any students that are thinking about going to college: filling out the FAFSA application. We just did a segment here on Tiempo like 2 or 3 weeks ago about the different services that are out there. You guys have your own service. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yes. Well, FAFSA is critical to fill out, and because it's the funding that comes from through Pell from the federal government, but it is also tied up to the financial aid we provide at the state level.
At the state
with
level.
TAP.
Okay.
So when you don't fill out the FAFSA, then you're losing out federal, but also you're impinging the state programs we have.
Yes.
So we now have an aggressive effort to have every student fill out the FAFSA. The governor sent out a letter to every senior student in high school urging them fill out the FAFSA. So this is an effort for students and families.
It's also an effort for the administrators in school districts. You've reached out to them as well.
And the guidance counselor, absolutely. We lost a couple of years back, $200 million, $225 million, because students were not filling out the FAFSA, and we want to change that. We want that money to come to help pay for college.
That was money in Washington that could have come to New York State but didn't.
Yes, and we have FAFSA Ready, which is an effort that involves the 2 university system, the Department of Education at the state level, and all the colleges and university principals, superintendents, guidance counselor. It's an all-out effort to fill out the FAFSA, but also in the process, make sure that you bring all that money to help students enter college and graduate at the same time.
So the message is, don't be afraid.
Exactly.
Don't be put off by the complication of the application. Help is out there to get you through it, and it's critical that you fill it out.
We just opened a website dedicated to FAFSA, and FAFSA Ready has all that you need.
Walk you through it.
Walk it through it, whether it's a student or a family.
Let me ask you something that I know is near and dear to your heart because you were there at the very beginning. The New York State DREAM Act. That, if I understand it correctly, it allows undocumented and other students to access New York State administered grants and scholarships that support higher education.
This is dear to my heart. I'm the original sponsor of the DREAM Act. We named it after Jose Peralta, Senator Jose Peralta, in his honor, because he worked on it as well.
But Guillermo, this dates back to what year? 2011,
I introduced it, my first bill as an assemblyman. And finally, in 2019, it was passed. I'm in this position, and I roll out this program, and as a result, thousands of dreamers are receiving financial aid because of this historic.
So this came back to your desk.
It came back to my desk.
And you looked at it and said, oh, yeah, I know this. I'm pretty familiar with this. and let's make this clear. This is a state-run program.
It is.
So no matter what happens in Washington, federal legislators, new administration, no se preocupes, they can't get their hands on the New York State Dream.
Absolutely not. And the thing is, students who are dreamers are eligible for all over 2 dozen grants and scholarships that we have in the state of New York. They have access, and they have nothing to fear.
The New York State Dream Act. His baby, for sure. Un placer, señor. So good to see you again. Thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias to you at home. Thank you once again for spending part of your Sunday aquí con nosotros, with us. I'm Joe Torres. We'll see you next time for another edition of Tiempo.